Yo, what's going on, guys? We're going to be looking at a bronze 1 Rek'Sai jungle on the NA server and looking at the runes. Everything looks good. Looking at the abilities, it looks good, and the items look very standard as well. The enemy team is pretty good mix of AD and AP. Ezreal, Rek'Sai, Ezreal and the Hecarim are their AD, Anivia, Soraka APs, and then Nasus, I guess another AD. So they have triple AD and really 1.5 APs. So your build of running for heavy armor is definitely the move here with the GA. You did still get the Merc Tress for the tenacity. It's definitely worth it since they have Nasus slow, Anivia stun, Soraka slow, Soraka silence, Soraka snare, all that stuff. So I think you should get pretty good value out of your build. That all looks good. The only thing I would say that you need to change right off the bat is getting a ward down. As a jungler, you want to be able to have Oracle Lens on your very first gank. So first things first, write it down. Leave base on time, stand on opposite side. So here you would have come out, laid a ward, and then reset. You can start your recall around the 50-second mark to 55-second mark, still get the base on time, and you can lay your ward during any point of your recall. So normally you would just stand right here and do it if you're trying to be really safe. If you're being ridiculously aggro, you could wait in this bush. You usually don't do that unless you're from this side though, since you can get to this bush really easy from this one. So if you're on this side of the map, usually just wait here, super safe, start your recall 55-second mark, ward, recall, then get oracles, because right now they could be in your jungle, could be taking stuff. Rek'Sai is all about early game tempo, so if you're putting yourself in situations where they can take that away from you, that's like really unfortunate. So that's the first thing. Get your ward down, reset, then get oracles. You have absolutely, most of the time your laners won't even watch opposite side, which is another reason why it's super important to ward for yourself opposite side, because top laners are practically just AFK players. So you're going to start Q, you hit it with the auto attack Q reset, looks good. I like it. I guess Callista's saved for passive for Thresh right when it's time to leash. That's a weird time to do it. Big one Thresh auto coming in hot. I would practice on trying to get a little bit of movement in between your attacks. It may not actually make a difference initially because you'll be bad at it, but it's good practice because you should be able to auto attack Q, auto Q, move back Q, move back, etc. And when I say Q, I mean your empowered Q autos there. But if you don't work on it, you'll never get better at it. So if you always just get in the habit of only standing there while you're attacking, you inherently won't be pulling your camp slightly, which will save you a few seconds on each camp. So definitely would try to practice that. Don't get discouraged, like I said. Even if you're having trouble pulling it, you just need to practice getting in those extra inputs, because eventually it will start to look smooth. If you do practice and work on it for 30 plus games, start to give yourself a pretty big leg up. This is a pretty random tunnel in my opinion. It's much faster to just, because it's a very long cooldown, keep in mind. Save your tunnel, go from wolves straight to here, and then tunnel into wraps. From here you can literally queue them at point blank range and then knock them all up. It's a very fast way, and the tunnel stays so you can use it again when you go back in for your clear. Rek'Sai and low elo, you don't really want to do a 6 camp clear because she's such a good early gank champion. That's more of a higher elo challenger thing, or D1 plus is the full clear. If you do see that you have no gankable lanes, then it's fine. So in this case, you see full health, under turret, Anivia, she's going to have passive under turret. So in this case, it's fine. Like I said, you should tunnel 2 raptors, queue them in your tunnel form, and knock them up, come out, auto attack Q reset, use your E once you're full fury. Looks good. You pulled it to you with your missile, knocked it up, auto attack Q reset. At this point, yeah, you'd probably just push scuttle. Whenever you're analyzing a scuttle fight as jungler, it's really important to think about the matchup, and even more important, the keystone. So what keystone does Hecarim have? He has phase rush, right? That gives him essentially 0 damage. Because it's Hecarim, it gives him a little bit, because extra movement speed gives his passive more damage, but still. He basically gets 0 damage from his keystone. You have Conqueror, so as long as you're full HP when you're fighting him, even if he's full HP, you should win the fight to the death. That's the way you need to think about that. a Conqueror jungler or a lethal tempo jungler should be able to beat a non-Conqueror or non-lethal tempo Keystone jungler in a fight to the death, assuming you're full HP. Just keep that in mind. Let me see how you started this real quick. I wouldn't do that. So if you thought it was Hecarim, that's fine, but you should be able to tell by the footsteps. But you don't want to hit the scuttle before you're there, because it's going to make it run even faster away from you. The second you hit Scuttle Crab, it actually speeds up. It gets like, don't quote me on this, but it gets significantly faster, like around like 50% faster. So you wouldn't actually want to hit it from a distance like this, because it doesn't run to you like the other camps, it runs away from you. So you get the knock-up, auto-attack, Q reset. You should immediately use your E. I guess you're saving it for the smite. Now it's on a cooldown. At this point, you'd path for opposite side scuttle. You'd go through mid lane. Nice sweeper. What you're looking for in this gank is ideally for action to do anything. Full disclosure, action mid is complete dog crap. No one should be playing it. Action top's pretty good right now, though. So what you're waiting for here is for action to do something, or you're going to wait till Anivia goes, ooh, and she zooms in on a minion to last hit it, right? So wait for her to go in for a last hit, and then you're going to go out. So like right here. So this is another opportunity. She's going in for a big trade. She not only casted an ability, but she stepped forward. Right when you see that, boom, you move out. So you do. That was decent timing. You hit her with the missile. You get the knock up. But definitely just stick on the Anivia. You can fight it out now, because you're fully stacked Conqueror. He's a phase rush chump. You fight this to the death, my friend. You get the knock up. Bada boom, bada boom. Definitely flash for it. Nice, nice, nice. You didn't even need to. And yeah, shove the wave. Beautiful. Looks good. You might as well shove it. At this point, you could either go restart your full clear on Gromp. It's not up yet, but it should be around 4:20. Or you can reset. Let's check your gold real quick. You're at 1500. That's a really, really good recall. You can get a massive chunk of your Prowlers there. And you can get Prowlers, a Longsword, and a... Not Prowlers, but the lethality item. You could get that initial lethality chunk plus a Longsword plus a... the control words, so it's a really big back. Instead, you see a big play bot side. Once you see the Scuttle Crab, you know you can't really gank it, especially if they react. So right when you step over that, you pan over. They're not really reacting, and Ezreal's low on mana. This is actually gankable. You can go over this wall right here, even without having your dash in the gank. You still have flash, so you can just flash into him, and you know Hecarim's not going to be there because you just killed him. So this is definitely gankable. Yeah. Gromp's probably the right move first to get your health back. I wouldn't have wasted your tunnel on it, though. I think that's a big mistake. Your tunnel's a massive cooldown. Once again, whenever you step on a ward or you step over the enemy Scuttle Crab, try to observe the closest enemy lane and see how they react, because they might not even have noticed it. That's the type of ELO we're in right now. So you should have saved your tunnel. After Gromp, you would have been full HP, and then you would have had tunnel to gank. Now you're going to have to wait 8 seconds. You even have a control word here, so you know it's not worded. Thresh should just throw you a lantern from here. I don't think he's going to, so you might have to just tunnel over the wall. This should have just been an immediate flash knockup. Just flash knockup. If it's a 2-man knockup and you have this type of follow-up, just take it. Even if they have their flashes up, you'll be applying red buff slows, and you should be able to stay on top of them. Neither one of them has boots. You go in for the casual, you get the 1 knockup. I mean, not bad. I do think it could have been a double kill. Still, solid positioning. Definitely looked better than a bronze 1 Reksai. I guess we'll start to see your mistakes as this game goes on. So far, I've liked pretty much everything except for your start. You needed to ward opposite side reset into oracles, and you need to try to move while you're fighting your camps in between your attacks. Those are the main things at the moment. So here, as you're leaving base, you need to look at lanes. Nasus not really diveable. He's a little bit too healthy. Trinmir's only got a D-Blade right now. You'd say mid lane, definitely killable. So if you're not going in for the gank, you should just go linear clear, Krugs into Raps into this, into your blue buff. You should never just cut in the middle of your clear like this unless you have a big game plan like I'm ganking this right after. And even then, that needs to make a lot of sense because now you're going to have to come up here and you're going to have to backtrack all the way. It's basically costing yourself an extra 8 to 12 seconds of just walking around. So we're walking. And why are we going over here? Did you just randomly go to dragon? Okay, your team kills Hecarim. I didn't see that. So their team gets a big pick on Heck because he greeds out for Scuttle. He tries to ghost. They pick him up. He's actually spawning in soon. By the time you go for dragon, he's already alive. When people get killed, even if it's pre-20, they get movement speed bonus from base. So when you go to this, I don't know your thought process, but I hope you're going to it like knowing that Hecarim can easily get there in time. You decide you're going to do it anyways because you got 2 of your teammates bought. I could just imagine this getting really ugly if Anivia rotated. She could give so much more value than action here. And you're already missing a bunch of health. Like, imagine if Anivia rotated this and Hecarim showed up. It just feels a little bit forced. Hecarim does show up. He doesn't smite it for whatever reason. And once again, if Anivia would have rotated, I understand you wanting to take it because Hecarim died, but you were so far away and he was on such a short spawn timer. If you were already in the area, this play would have made a lot more sense. There's just a lot of risk to it. You losing shutdown gold and you guys losing dragon when you didn't need to. So once again, while you're farming or moving around the map, you're looking at your 2 closest lanes to see what the play is here. So here you look at the minions, you're like, oh, Calista has minion advantage. This is going to be pushing away from us. So backing here is fine. Or you could go red buff, maybe into Herald. All right, you just go for the reset. You get Prowlers. Very nice. Makes it free to land your knockup. Action gets a kill. Okay. The second you see that, you're saying, all right, I'm going straight for Herald. You're not even going to go grab red buff right now. You're going straight for Herald. You got to skip the red buff. By the time you get red buff, Anivia's going to be spawned in. I think Herald's definitely the play here because Hecarim shouldn't even be level 6 yet because he's so far behind. He's under CS. You have so much CS on him and he's been dying a lot. See, by the time you take this red buff, Anivia spawns in 2 seconds. You skip the red buff, go to Herald next time because you had the action prio. Nasus gets the kill. Oh, wait. Nasus gets the kill. That's the enemy. Wow. Nasus is down so much gold, but Tryndamere makes the mistake of staying when Nasus has item advantage. Play still caps Rex low early game damage from AD champions. Runs up, gets the kill. Nice. You going for the flash blue smite. Looks good. Ooh, solid. It's solid. I like the aggression since you came up behind him. You don't have your tunnel, unfortunately, so it forces you to flash blue smite. You land the rocket. And you do kind of dodge a turret shot with your R. I think you could have held on to it for a little bit longer until the turret shot was at least floating in midair, but honestly, it looks fine. You auto attack E reset. Looks good, man. Pretty solid. Your ability usage actually looks very good. You use your prowess to get out of that. You get the knock up into auto attack Q reset. Nice. Cool. The only thing I would say about this is do keep in mind you have shutdown gold. So even if you killed her, if you end up dying, it's far from worth it. Even if you got 2 kills and you died, it wouldn't be worth it because they're getting 700 gold when you would only be getting at most 300 gold a piece. So just keep that in mind. I do like to see the limit testing, though. That's a big way to improve and learn your champion's damage output is to force plays like this. You saw she wasn't full item. You had Prowlers. You used Prowlers to get out of her R. But once again, you did have the shutdown, so cutting it a little close. Action starting to pop off here. Once you know for a fact you can solo the enemy jungler, try to play a little bit more in their jungle is the only thing I would say. I don't think I've seen you steal a single one of Hecarim's camps so far, and you've been ahead of him for 80% of the game. I like the Herald play after the Hecarim. Makes a lot of sense. It's a 100% thing to do. You look for the easiest objective, and this is definitely it. Action doesn't need to help you, though. He'd actually be better off going back mid lane. He doesn't need to help you take that. You're very low. Just get out of here. Right here, your thought process should be, do I base or do I go heal off Gromp? If I don't know when Dragon's up. It's gray right now, but that means it's a minute or less. So I don't know if it's a minute or not, or if it's like 30 seconds. So right now you need a base grow to Gromp. You go for the Gromp. Nice. You see something's going on over here. Someone's taking Scuttle Crab. It's the Hecarim. Your art is up and you're back to full HP. You can pop over the wall here or pop over it here. You don't have blue smite, so it might be kind of tricky to stay on top if Ezreal E's early. We'll see. What just happened? Wait, what just happened? Did you didn't quite get the angle on it there? It's confusing because it's showing your tunnel on the opposite side, but I don't know what happened there. You should be able to make that angle. I guess you just pushed it too far. Maybe in the future, click on the ability and test to see what it looks like. So we should be able to make that. Also, Thresh should have lanterned you. This guy's a goofball. You going for the raw R because you have no other choice to get to him. Getting with the Prowlers. That was, dude. These mechanics are actually pretty good. If you didn't tell me what rank this was, I would say this is probably like the Platinum Rek'Sai. You go back under for the knockup. Beautiful. Looks really solid. You're probably smurfing, aren't you? That's what's going on here. You got a coaching just to flex on the viewers. I see how it is. So you just got to kill on the bot lane. Dragon is not too far out of the realm of opportunities. I guess since Action's dead, it doesn't quite make sense. You should just recall. Maybe ping Thresh to go word Dragon. You're sitting on a Herald. You need to lay that before the 14-minute mark. So you look for the lowest turret. It's top lane. You say, is Tryndamere going to get this anyways? Maybe. So probably go gank mid or bot and then lay it. But you need to lay it before the 13-30-second mark because Herald takes like 8 seconds to set up. And then it has a 2-second travel time. So you really need to give yourself time to lay that thing. I make that mistake all the time. You're not going to get any plates with it now. Let's see your ability usage. Should have skipped blue buff, gone and laid the Herald. Always keep an eye on that 13-minute 30. You got to lay the Herald by then. Or preferably the early part of the 13-minute mark. Just to be safe. So you toss out an early Q. Got the knockup. You needed to auto-attack first there. So you got knockup, you panic straight into Q. You should have knocked up into auto-attack Q. Then you hit him with the E reset. Once he's outside of your attack range, you whip him with the R. Did you already use your Prowlers? Why is your Prowlers on cooldown? So it's just a really long cooldown. Used it 10 years ago. I was going to say, if your Prowlers was up, you should have used that before you used your R. Your R has a lot more range. So if he R's away, you can R him in midair and to stay on top. But your Prowlers is on cooldown still. That's incredible. So you R, he should just R away at this point. You Prowlers to stay on top. Of course, he gets away because he's speedy. Hecarim's very low. This is an easy gank into bot lane to set up the dragon. You just go bot here. Never chase for kills. When you're ahead, chasing for kills is the dumbest thing. You're already in the driver's seat, man. You're chasing the homeless person on the sidewalk right now. Just stay in the car. Stay in the vehicle. Easy bot gank into dragon. Minimize chasing and you'll win a lot more games on early game junglers. Go for the Ezreal. You don't have the R to run her down. Just walk into him. Boom. Knock up, auto attack, Q reset. Beautiful. Whipped him with the E. Really solid mechanics. You lay the Herald. No plates. Feels bad. So sad. Get that dragon, dude. You deserve it. No, you're looking for more kills. You ping dragon. You should just go to that. Action can follow. really want Draxel to win on this champion late game. Hecarim's going to give way more value than you in team fights now that he's starting to get armor. This dragon's being delayed. You can pull the dragon out, just hit it with a long range Q and just make sure you're close enough to where it doesn't just, like if you hit it with a Q and you walk over here, it's going to reset. Just stay in this general area after you hit it with a Q and it'll pull out. You decide to leave because your bot lane's not backing you up. I understand. See, but now it's awkward. So before you had picks, you had Sirach with 100 health, you just killed the Ezreal, and action was pushing. Before it made sense. Now it's like, you guys don't have any picks. So now you're just doing another weird raw dragon like you were doing early game. This is an opportunity for them to kill you. Rek'Sai loses a lot of health doing dragons because Prowler's Claw doesn't give any hits healing. So you're almost dead and you're fed. Dude, if someone showed up, this could be so bad. Even if you killed 3 of them. If you kill 3 of them and they kill you, it's not a good trade because they're behind and you have so much shutdown. Kind of low on health. You're fishing for a pick. It's not going to happen though unless you already see somebody engaged, unless they're going to walk into your bush. Sure enough, she walks over. You land the Prowlers in a knock up. You need an R there. Now you're dead. See, that's the thing with forcing plays when you're fed. This isn't necessary. There's no objective. The biggest reason to force a play is around an objective. If you're forcing a play for a kill, how much is that kill really worth when if they kill you, they're getting 3 kills? Like, you kill Anivia, then what? Like, the minions aren't even here. Your minions are 10 years away. You kill Anivia, by the time she'll spawn in and get back to catch that same wave nearly. Just saying. Just a very dangerous, limit-testy play with very little reward. Those are the kind of plays you do when you're really far behind and you're just trying to do anything to claw your way back in. Try to avoid that when you're ahead like this. Going in for that Sterix. All of the enemies are alive. We see the Anivia's backing. We have several teammates backing. We cannot do the Herald here. Once again, if you are going to clear, ideally start at one end and work your way through. Don't just randomly cut in through the middle. You're just messing up your camps. Nasus is up really far. You guys can go for this. Something I haven't really mentioned much. I mentioned at the start of the video to look at the keystone diffs for 1 versus 1s to the death. Before every single gank and after every single fight, you need to look at the items. The reason to look at it after the fight, even if you checked it before the fight, is just to double check. So always check the item. So here, like if Nasus was, let's say like Trinity Force or Divine Sunderer plus Randuin's, would you want to fight that? No, Trinity is not even 1 full item and you're only 1 full item. But since he doesn't really have any items on the board, no full items, this is doable. Nasus R gives him huge AoE damage. His circle's big AoE damage and armor shreds, so Nasus is the type of champion, if he has some armor items and real items, he can actually fight 1 versus 2s pretty comfortably. This is force, don't chase. Prowlers and a knock-up, auto attack Q reset, you woven your E. Very, very forced. You guys barely pinched the kill. And I know you're going to say, but I'm forcing it around an objective. The thing is, there's so many of them missing, and we're chasing blind. It's like this moment, for example, I don't know why Anivia went this way. If she had just gone this way, I think she would have killed you all. But she's just, she ran away from her turret and away from Hecarim. If she was so much closer, she could have gotten a double. Yeah, it's a bit chasey. That's all I'm going to say. For example, after you use your Prowlers and you chunk him down here, even before you are, this was a good play, right? He's already low. Imagine if you started Herald. Is he really going to be able to turn and come back with half health? Probably not. This was already a good play. After the R and then we keep chasing, I don't like it anymore. At this point, it's just very lucky Anivia went a very weird direction. It does pan out, though. Don't chase, just get the objectives. You make it work, though, because you have the tunnel. Nice job. Get the objectives. And I know you're going to say, but obviously I could get this kill. It's cool you got the kill. I didn't realize your E was up. Your E was up, so it's worth. But do keep in mind, what does this kill get you? If she's even worth 300 gold right now, she's worth 300 gold. At this point of the game, what is 300 gold compared to a full item? 300 gold is just like not even a long sword. So just keep that in mind. As you climb up higher and higher in ELO, you'll kind of change your mindset away from kills and more around pressure and priority, because that's what dictates objectives and that's what dictates the game. So nice Herald. It was pretty clean watching you guys grouping on objectives even in this ELO. Granted, you don't need 4 people to do Herald, but still, it's kind of cool to see. Nah, you don't want to do that. Whenever you pick up Herald, you have a very, 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 very long time to lay it. Very long time. It's several minutes. I don't remember exactly how long it is. Either Herald will be lost to the void if not used within 240 seconds. Dude, that's 4 minutes. That's a long ass time. If you would have held on to it, Baron would be up for over 2 minutes since it spawned in, right? And the Baron would be up for 2 minutes and like 50 seconds, right? Since it spawned in. If they went for a Baron, you guys could just end the game or at least get inhib if they forced it. So yeah, don't lay the Herald here. It's really forced. If you're gonna lay Herald, you want to make sure you at least get with second Herald, you want to make sure you at least get inhib out of it, ideally. Or at the very least, lay it after you get a pick. If you have 0 picks or sent 0 people to base, they can just defend it. So all you're going to get here is 1 Herald body slam, not worth. First Herald should be at least first turret or minimum 2 plates. Second Herald should be at least 1 to 2 turrets, but ideally inhibitor. Just getting 1 body slam is practically a complete waste like this. Always try to get a pick before laying a Herald so they can't just defend it. Because if you killed 1 or 2, they wouldn't be able to sit under it. Action's going in for a pick bot side. You're hiding on the wall. An easier spot, unless you thought this was worded, it's easier to just sit here because you have more distance rather than sitting on this fat part. Reksai's R is a massive tool to dodge skill shots or to dodge incoming damage. Ideally, you don't want to lead with it because you're missing out on that. Just like Master E is not supposed to open up with Q. So here, you should be going in with E first and getting a several person knockup. Ideally from here. But you could just go in, E and get a several person knockup. Especially since she R'd Callista, she's obviously about to throw out a stun. You should have just tunneled in. This is so free. That's a 2-man knockup. Maybe you are worried about the Soraka silence. That's a fair thing. Yeah. But at the same time, if you are in, she could just drop the silence. A Lucian dash behind whoever you are, which is the Anivia here. So I would say since Anivia hasn't used her Q, and since Thresh Hook didn't land, there's no point of really going in on this. But we'll see. You raw R. Why didn't... Dude, Soraka still has her E. She literally just didn't use it. All she had to do was E, and then you couldn't do anything. That's why this play just seemed bad to me, because you have to think about what's going to happen next. And what was going to happen next is Soraka would have E'd you, and then Anivia would have stunned you, and you would have died pretty much instantly, because you have 0 tankiness, really. Soraka E's. Yeah, it's just a massive forced play. This play all led off of a greedy, impatient Herald lay. What you should have done after Herald was basically go kill Ezreal. Don't waste the Herald. You guys kill Ezreal, you shove bot lane in, and maybe then force a Herald. Instead, Herald gets wasted. You kind of feel bad about it, maybe. And then you're like, oh, okay, maybe I'll raw R in here. Then Soraka decides not to use her E, and then you just die because you're a squishy Rek'Sai using your R as your main engage tool in a team fight, which is going to get you killed. That actually makes me happy, though, seeing you make a moderate mistake like that, because your mechanics up until now have not looked like a bronze Rek'Sai. They've looked quite a bit higher. Remember your win con. Play for Drag Soul. Every time you guys give them gold, it's going to get harder and harder. Your guys' comp sucks. If you ever have a Callista, Azir, or TF on your team and you're playing below Diamond, it's generally a dodge, or at the very least, you know they're not going to be able to do much. So they way outscale you. You guys are only in this because you and action are pretty fed. Prowlers into the knockup. Qs. Definitely E sooner. There's no reason to really hold on to the E. It doesn't do any bonus damage the lower on health they are. Just get it on cooldown. Once you're full fury, auto attack or empower autoed into E reset. I don't like that R. That R didn't accomplish anything. You're looking to do two things with your R. Secure kills and dodge stuff. Okay, three things. You're looking to secure kills, dodge stuff, and gap close. You're not doing any of that here. He's still over half health. You are him. You're not dodging anything. You're not gap closing. You're not securing anything. You're just like wasting your R. You would have been better off pathing over here, hitting someone with a Q, and then R'ing someone over here, because Nasus is a massive armor tank who's going to bonk you. Prowler Rek'Sai can't really fight armor bruisers to the death at this point in the game. And an armor bruiser would be something like a Darius, a Garen, a Nasus, a real juggernaut. So now you guys are going to lose Dragon. That's unfortunate. Dragon's your win con. Hold on, sorry, I went too fast there. You get the knock up, I'll attack Q reset. Don't over chase. When you're this low, you need to be willing to play around your cooldowns and not just walk in and die. So don't get too crazy here. Trinimir's going in deep, picks up the kills. He's getting a lot of value. Nivea's out of mana. She can't do much. She finishes off Trinimir with her Electrocute proc. Wait, where'd you go? Where are you at? Oh, you're there. You're just hiding behind Thresh. Blue Smite into the raw R. I guess that's fine. It was you used it as a gap closer and kill secure there, so it actually made sense. Shove mid off this. That's a good play. That's the closest thing to an objective you can take right now. You guys don't have time to do Baron. You can definitely get a turret. You're gonna have to back off of this one. Just path away. Should be fine. Don't re-engage. It's going to be really, really challenging to deal with the Anivia Sorokin team fights. The best thing your guys' team could do is have Trinimir split push, but at this part of the game, I don't think he can even solo Nasus, so it's going to make things really challenging. To where if Nasus sits on split, if the rest of them play defensive, there's nothing you can do. So you just have to hope for someone to be out of position, basically, or wait for Trinimir or Ghost to be up so he can get picks in team fights. Without Ghost, I don't think he can kill Soraka. Nasus is going in deep. Wise Wither's on cooldown. You can't do a whole lot. You have to look where your teammates are before fights and also check enemy items. He's Giga armored out. All three of you are AD here. Even if you all focused him for 6 seconds, you probably couldn't kill him. So, Callista's not here, Thresh is not here. This is a bad engage. Holy crap, you died fast. That's unfortunate. You're starting to feel what it feels like when Rek'Sai starts to fall off. This is why it's really important to never throw your shutdown gold on her. Oh, man. Because boy, does she start to fall off if they're stacking armor. To be fair, that your team is full AD. You guys didn't pick a single magic damage champion. This would have been a great game for you to pick something like Diana or even an Evelynn. I think this was a particularly bad game to pick Rek'Sai. 80, 80, 80, and then Thresh's mixed damage. So Nasus can get away with armor stack. Hecarim can get away with armor stack. Realistically, against your team, Hecarim should have skipped the Muramana build, even though it's good right now, and he should have just gone Dead Man's second item. Picked up tier later. Because you guys are so AD heavy. The enemies are throwing. They're diving underneath turret. Nasus wastes flash for no reason. Still above half health. I guess it is bronze after all. You need to go mid. Just go mid and kill Anivia with your teammate. You basically can't deal with Nasus anymore. Yes, we'll see. Prowler Claw, knock up, Q, auto attack, E reset. You got the true damage and your blue smite true damage. It just seems like so much more work compared to just killing Anivia. A Reksai literally eat into you. That I don't think he knows how his E works. I've never seen that before. It's almost as if he thought his E would cancel your tunnel move or slow you down somehow. He just jumps straight into you, get the knock up into QE off of Full Fury. Nasus bonks, that's plus 12. You don't give him the plus 12. Beautiful blue smite. You're about to give him plus 12 off that Q. And yes, you guys need to play for Dragon. You're running a full 80 team comp. You guys need to end pre-35 minute. You going for Gromp for the healing. I guess that's fine. Especially since Dragon wasn't up yet. It's definitely fine. You need to pull these out with Qs, my dude. Just hit it with a Q and let it come to you. You don't want to take these this steep when they got stuff like a Nivea or a Ziggs or a Lux or a Zerath. Any kind of mid-range mage or long-range mage, you don't want to be in here. You only get away with it if their whole team's melee, and that's about it. And even then, you don't want a melee champ flopping over the wall. Getting wiggly with you. This is just so much extra risk leaving it here. Hecarim Arzen after it dies. You need to get the knock up on him. You didn't dodge anything with your R. If you're not dodging anything with your R, that means you're using it way too late or way too early. And you also should have knocked him up once your, I guess, burrow's up here. So you just needed to wait. So yeah, you should have just burrowed, unburrowed, knocked him up. Q'd Soraka, R'd Soraka. I think that's the move here. Q him in so knock him up. Shoot your little missile at Soraka, and then Nivea's going to try to ride on you with her moves, and then you're going to dodge it, and then your team might win. At least you got Dragon, but this fight is kind of rough. Action's not here. I don't know where Nasus is at, but if he was here, this would be game over. So Soraka bonks you. You're focusing all your damage on their armor champions. You need to try to get on their backline if possible. You're not the right type of champion or the right type of build to shred through them. You do have the option of picking up a Black Cleaver in these very dire situations. Black Cleaver is a decent option when they have this much armor. That way you can start to percent shred them. And your teammates benefit from that too, because it's not just you. It shreds the enemy's armor. It's not just penetration for yourself to apply. It's communal penetration in that aspect. Just peel for Callista. Get the knock up. The auto attacks. Looks good. Just keep peeling. This is what happens. Nasus just decides to troll and fight 1 versus 4. He didn't need to do that. But I guess people will throw eventually, right? Thrust flash hooks. Oh no. You really need to get on Soraka or Nivea. It's really easy for you to deal with a Nivea in a lot of ways because of your prowlers, as long as you're not Soraka silenced. You can't really outplay the armor Nasus or armor Hecarim with your prowlers or your R. There's not really much for you to dodge, but with this Soraka and Nivea, you can dodge quite a bit. Holy crap, that was a long R. Yep, get on Soraka, Prowler, beautiful. Turn back around, get that assist, pad that KDA. Nice, you got the knock up. You decided to give, I like it. Yeah, easy Baron call. So here's the thing. If you guys shove in, you'll barely get inhib in time, right? Because your minions are so far away. So Baron here is definitely the call. You get the Baron buff, plus you each get, I think, 300 gold apiece. Good call. Now, hopefully, you guys win a fight and actually get an inhib. That's the next plan. This feels like such a long game, but it's actually not. Only 29 minutes. You're walking back and forth. There's really no reason to be in the front like this if you know someone's split pushing and Nasus doesn't have TP. So you really should be coming from a side angle, coming up from behind, and flopping over a wall or from a bush, getting on Soraka or a Nivea, pressuring. You don't even have to lead in with a tunnel. You could just lead in by walking at her. That would be better. That way she can't just toss out an E. But yeah, being in the front like this doesn't do much. This is for peeling for your team. This is for forming the line and duking it out. They're missing a player. He's over here, though, so you should be on a flank or something like that. Thresh gets a random hook. I don't know how. Anivia's a goofball. And now they just lost the game because Nasus is splitting and Anivia's a goofball. Anivia, let the record show, Anivia Q does outrange Thresh hook. But, wait, did he flash for that? Is that what happened? Even still, though. I think he just like, yeah, what? So, okay. So she misses her Q and then she still walks forward. What is she walking forward for? For nearly a second and a half. She missed Q and then kept walking forward. Thresh standstills to Hex Flash. Oh my god. Oh. My goodness. You just shove and wave and try to end. Where are you? I lost you. Okay, there you are. I couldn't find you there. No wonder. Oh, we're chasing kills. At least you guys got it. Action E resets are so annoying. Kills an assist. He gets his little dangler back. You guys got to group up and kill Nasus underneath turret. There's no, absolutely zero reason for Tryndamere to go bot. Zero reason for Action to go bot. These guys are on some long ass spawn timers. This is an end moment. By the time Anivia spawns in, they'll have no base turrets. If you guys just stayed together. That's not your fault though. You're still in the right spot. Yeah. Oh well. You guys got inhib. Hopefully you get outer bot. You'll get red buff and you're playing for soul. Because sometimes people decide they want Dragon Soul instead of winning the game. Nasus is going in by himself. You decide get the soul and then you need a pill. Yeah, you just don't you never ever want to just sit there and try to cream on someone with lethality Rek'Sai who has a bunch of armor. You have to try to path off of them with either a blue smite R into somebody else or go into tunnel mode, shoot a missile. Because we don't, this is just going to get us killed and we're not getting any value and we're not really dodging anything. You come back from, wait, where are you? I keep getting confused on where you're at. Okay, so the chem tank brings you back alive, then you are, and once again it doesn't do anything because you're fighting an armor tank. We need to peel off onto someone else with either a dash, a blue smite, a tunnel missile, and an R, or anything. We just need to get off the armor tanks. 3 of us died there, but at least we have drag soul. Here you go. I'll just lock on to you. Things moving so fast. At this point, you definitely shouldn't be building more lethality. Lethality is an early game item. Building lethality in the late game like this does nothing. They have so much armor. Like, look at this. 80 armor. What is 10 lethality? That, so what? He has 70 armor now instead of 80? Like, that does nothing. Just get, if you're in the late game on an 80 champ and you want armor penetration, get a Last Whisper or build Black Cleaver. Lethality late game is dog crap. Assuming the enemies are building armor. If they're all still squishy, building no armor, then it's fine. Thresh gets another hook somehow. Your tunnel's up. You got in with just a Prowlers there? What the heck? Why are you holding on to your tunnel so much? Why don't you just tunnel in? They don't really have any displacements to cancel it either, like an Alistar headbutt. So I don't know why you're so afraid of tunneling. You decide to go for the Prowlers, double knock up. Nice. That should be an R. Gap close it. Boom. You also dodged some Ezreal stuff there. Blue smite him. Blue smite, blue smite. And then you guys win. I'll see what you did there. You might be able to do something different. So your team's forming up. You have a super minion. You guys could have hid behind your mini, but since Nasus is forcing it, forces you to go in. You didn't need to go in this early, though. If you're worried about him one-shotting Thresh, that's one thing, but he can't get to your backline from here. Thresh lands the Flay. You land the knock-up. You should blue smite and walk away here, in my opinion. Also, I don't know what Action's doing. That's really newbie. He's way too far away to help, but after you land the knock-up, you didn't really need to go into auto attacks, in my opinion. You could just blue smite and walked away, because now you're just going to get bonked. If you were full health, it would have been one thing, but since you are in kill death, really no one gonna finish that Nasus. Thresh lands another hook somehow. This guy's like permanently hooking them. All right. Yeah, I could definitely see you at least ending gold this season. I don't know how you're still in bronze, but the main things is don't force dragons for no reason. Make sure there's a reason to take it. If you're ahead as a jungler, try to invade the enemy jungler. Pay attention to their buff spawns and pay attention to scuttle spawns. Don't chase kills when you're ahead. There's no really reason to do that. Just get pressure and take objectives. I can't really remember if there's anything else off the top of my head. It would just be, yeah, in team fights, don't sit there and hit the armor person if you have the choice. Try to fight somebody else. Even if you have to use Blue Smite R someone else or Missile R. But sitting there creaming on the armor tank does nothing. Oh, I guess final thing I can think of is when you lay a Herald, try to get a kill, a pick, or make sure there's no one there first. Because if they are there, you're not going to get anything of value out of it. A single Herald body slam is such a low value way of using Herald. Other than that, nice job, man. Well played. I can see you definitely hitting gold, and best of luck out there.